Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the BS Podcast, number 21, with my good friend, Adam Mardanlou. Do you have a middle name?
Hassan.
Adam Hassan Mardanlou. And we've been friends since forever, long as I can remember. What grade did we...
I was thinking about that. It's elementary school, for sure.
Cottonwood Elementary?
Cottonwood Elementary.
But not right away.
No. Who was your kindergarten teacher?
I had Miss Level.
Yeah.
But then I went to first grade and I had Miss Hobbs.
Okay. At Fleming.
Then I got held back. And then I had Miss Van Frank. So
it's probably third then.
I think it was third grade.
Pixton?
Yeah, Pixton.
Did
you have Pixton?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I think I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
With Nick Nick
Cudlick? Yeah.
Nick Cudlick and Jordan Allison.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Ryan was in there. I don't think he was.
Yeah, that's probably it then.
Yeah.
Third grade.
Yeah. But friends
Pixton.
Forever, friends now, friends till the end, friends after life.
The kids are friends.
Kids are friends. Kids, yeah. Trying to get the kids married.
Katie is on us.
A little,
we still have that little picture of those two squatting for Easter.
We'll have to explain.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, dude. But yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Dude, I appreciate it more.
No, I do.
No, me.
No, me. Okay. He's just mad. He wanted to give me something.
All right, Adam, we have one favorite question we like to ask. What is your very, very first memory ever on Earth?
On Earth?
Or pre-existence.
Ooh.
If you can remember that.
Man.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
I don't remember anything pre-existent. First memory.
Have you thought about that? The pre-existence?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think about it, right? But I don't have any memory of it.
I know. I've always wondered, like, I wonder if I could possibly remember.
First memory. I would say my parents just bought a house in Holiday. And we lived in West Valley for a brief moment. And I don't remember the West Valley home. And anyway, they bought this brand new home in Holiday. And what do? I grab a spray paint can and just start tagging the house.
Of course.
You know, so nice red spray paint. My parents didn't know where I was, and then one of the neighbors was like, "Hey,
Oh my God.
your kid's over here tagging." You know, it was like the electrical box. It was like,
So it wasn't
right
your
by
house. It was just around the neighborhood?
It was.
Oh.
No, it was. But
Wait,
like,
these new guys moved in and their kids tagging up the town.
Everybody's car has red spray paint all over it.
This is when Holiday started going downhill.
When Holiday went downhill.
The Mardanlou's moved in and suddenly there's graffiti on the town.
I think that's probably my first one. You know,
Getting in trouble?
Getting in trouble. You know,
What
right
was
off the
that?
get-go.
What was the punishment for that?
I don't remember. Like, I know my dad was probably disappointed, you know, definitely just tagging a house that they just barely bought, super expensive, you know. So,
Which back then was like $35,000.
yeah, exactly. You know, now price escalation now, it's like, I don't know.
$3 million.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It probably is. I don't know. I wonder how much. It's a big yard.
Yeah. Half an acre. And
That's
I think
crazy.
it was more than that.
yeah.
Do they still live there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever sell it, but yeah. So
That's cool.
I like it. It's a good little home, you know.
It's weird when mom and dad sold their house. Like, wouldn't that be just weird for you? Like, to be, like, done with Holiday suddenly?
For sure. And we live in Bountiful, right? So it's like, we go there for family dinners and, you know, and it just changes so much.
Oh, I know.
Because we don't go there every week, you know. It's every couple weeks, maybe once a month. And then you go down Holiday and it's like, holy cow,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
like, oh, look, another house got torn down.
Yeah, exactly. So I was
5
telling Sid, I was
houses.
like, you want to buy a house here, you just have to tear it down and build a big home.
Yeah.
You know, it's
People are buying,
a lot
like,
of people are
3
doing.
houses,
Yeah.
tearing them all down and building, like, mega
Yeah.
mansions.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's weird.
You know, and all the pricing for these homes are just,
Oh my gosh.
astronomical, you know?
Yeah.
It
Even
is.
Bountiful.
It's wild.
Even Bountiful is expensive.
It is.
that's gotten really expensive.
So one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, and I probably would have had you on anyways, because I just wanted you on. But you have a really interesting background with your family.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your family and how many siblings you have, and then maybe the dynamics between your parents and the differences between those guys?
Yeah. So my dad, he is from Iran. He traveled here when he was about 15 years old, and he came to Utah, went to East High School, went to the University of Utah, and yeah.
So how old was he when they moved here?
15. So he basically went straight into, or pretty dang close to, high school.
Did he speak any English?
No. I think very little. He speaks Farsi and Arabic, like a Turkic dialect from Tabriz, where he's from. And then he came here with his oldest brother, who I think was maybe 7-10 years older. And he was getting his master's, PhD, and kind of was helping him kind of along the way. And so, yeah, he came here, and then he knew math. He's very, very smart, so he knew math. So he went to coal mining engineering, and he was supposed to go back to Iran, and ended up meeting my mom. And
Time out.
Yeah.
Why did he come here?
I think for a visa. I think Utah's, and I always, my memory probably fades me a lot because I'm sure he told me, but I'm pretty sure it was for a green card visa or a school visa, right?
Okay.
And then when you're done, unless you got married,
like an exchange
you go home. Yeah,
thing.
Yeah. And I think Utah is pretty good. I think a lot of Iranians come here and whatnot, and so you see the diverse backgrounds and everything like that. So yeah, he came here and then met my mom. My mom's from small town Grantsville, Utah.
Wow.
And
they met at the U?
She went to BYU, and I think they met at a dance, and I think that's kind of where they met, and then kind of from there they slowly fell in love. And so yeah, so I've got 2 older brothers, 4 and 5 years older, Allie and Abraham, and yeah, a little different, with faiths, beliefs and things like that. Growing up, I would go back and forth between the Muslim faiths, right? So the mosque and the LDS church, and kind of going back and forth. And so I do a lot of the prayers, and I didn't really fast too much, but from time to time, Ramadan, I think it's going on right now, and so they fast. And
when you were younger, was that confusing to you, or what were your thoughts about the whole situation?
Yeah, I guess it could be confusing. It was kind of more of the norm, right? We would. The background behind it, I think there's a lot of Muslims that are very strict, and my dad wasn't really strict per se when it came to certain things. Other things he was, right? But it was more it was kind of the norm. He wanted to raise us Muslim, right? He wanted us to be Muslim and to learn, his ways, and his whole family is Muslim, and so yeah, so we. And I can't remember when it switched, but obviously my mom was from the LDS faith, right? And I don't think she was quite, active her whole life, but during that time we would kind of go back and forth. So one Sunday the mosque, one Sunday it would be, the LDS church. Sunday,
So it's on Sunday.
Yeah.
The mosque is on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so so from we go with my brothers, and we kind of just bounce back and forth, right? So, yeah, you're learning Arabic, you're trying to learn Arabic, and then you're learning about different faiths, and so yeah, it can be a little confusing, but it kind of meshed together, kind of. There's a lot of similarities for sure. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of difference, but it was kind of meshed a little bit together when we were getting being raised at least in a home under the same roof. So it, you get mixes, right? We still said prayers. We still did all that.
What was the prayer? What was, like, when did you do the prayers, and what were the prayer? Were they at night before bed, or like?
No, I mean, so they like normal prayers, like you would for, blessing the food. I mean, my dad says prayers still to this day. We have family dinners. It just doesn't end in Jesus Christ.
I feel like I feel like when he prayed at your wedding, he did. Did he not?
No, he won't close it in the name of Jesus Christ, but the prayer.
Who does he close it in?
No one, just amen.
Just amen.
Yeah,
okay.
but he dresses God or Father and all that. So a lot of similarities for sure. So.
Would your dad go to church with you guys to the LDS church?
No.
So he would still go to the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
And then would your mom go to the mosque with you guys, or would she go to church?
She would from time to time. We support my dad all the time still to this day, right? And so we'll go to special events, when they do fasting for Ramadan, when they, close the, kind of the fasting and whatnot, we'll attend, or just little events here and there. I mean, it's pretty normal still,
Yeah.
But, I mean, we still, my mom will go, she'll wear the hijab over her hair, Sid would go, we'll go, and family and whatnot, just kind of support him. But yeah, he didn't go. I'm trying to think. He's now, starting to be more supportive for sure. I think when I first went on a mission, I don't think he came to
your farewell.
To my farewell, but I think he came to my homecoming and things like that. And so he's been more open, which has been, a blessing, and it's been neat to see. I think the grandkids has softened him more than us, brothers, that's a soft spot for him for sure,
Mm-hmm. He's so sweet.
Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember him being so sweet.
Yeah, he's
and your mom too. They're just like the
good
kindest,
people.
Just sweetest people. Yeah.
Yeah, he social butterfly and loves to just make people happy,
Yeah.
He'll help in any way he can, for sure.
So, okay, sorry, time out. Going back to when your mom and dad first met.
Mm-hmm.
And they met at some sort of like event.
I think 80s. We'll say the 80s, sometime in the 80s.
And like, was your mom active in the church then?
I don't think she was.
Okay.
I think she would be maybe considered less active at that time.
Okay. So she was more open to like not getting married in the temple, and not
mm-hmm.
like, because she was in that mindset of like,
mm-hmm.
it's fine.
I think so,
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. Like,
so where did they get married? What was that like?
Oh, man, where did they get married? They didn't get married in the temple.
Yeah.
I don't even know where they got married. That's terrible of me to say.
Well,
you weren't around.
Yeah, so I can't believe you don't remember.
I mean, I remember. I could see the picture right now of them, getting married.
Yeah.
And was it like at a church?
I think it might have been at a church. It might have been at just like a
reception.
Just a reception center, I think. And
did his family come into town for it? Do you think?
So his brothers were there. I know that. So my grandma. I never met my grandpa.
Okay.
He died in the 70s, but I don't think even my grandma came. She came to the United States from time to time, and we go back. My dad goes back there, and I've been back there and stuff. And
that's cool. So you've seen where he grew up?
I did.
That's so cool.
Yeah. We were there 5th grade, I think, shortly after 9/11. We went back there for a month. Wow. And we went everywhere. So he showed me everything, and it was neat. Yeah. So he tried to make it to where us boys would be able to experience where he grew up, and kind of had a little taste of the poverty and whatnot. But Allie went, because he's a little older than us, and then Abraham and I went together with him, and it's a cool experience,
Yeah.
A lot of history, a lot of family that I didn't even know, were there. And
could they speak English, or was your dad just translating?
They spoke English. I mean, a lot of them speak English. my dad translated a ton. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we wouldn't speak when we were in the like taxis and stuff because they would try to charge more because we were American. But yeah, a lot of the family would. My grandma didn't. I mean, broken down English, right? But for the most part, my dad would translate, or cousins and whatnot.
Well, I remember when 9/11, just when you mentioned 9/11, I remember when that all happened, when the Trade Towers got hit. And there was like a ton of like racism at that point. And I remember, I didn't ever see it, but I think you maybe had told me, like, your dad was pretty emotional about like 9/11 and stuff. What was that like when, like,
man,
you know, how did he handle that?
I remember with 9/11, you know, we'd always get to school early, right? Yeah. And we'd go play basketball. Right. But yeah, I remember sitting down, eating breakfast, and then turning on like Garfield or whatnot, right? And then the you know, Twin Tower, I guess the news came on, right?
Yeah.
And the Twin Towers, you know, kind of showed the planes hitting the Twin Towers. And so, you know, I had some conversations with my dad over the years about it. And, you know, he always says, you know, that it's made him more open to discussing his faith with other people. He's not shy about it by any means. And he'll you know, tell you anything you want to know.
Should have him on. We have a billion questions.
Yeah, we love that.
And
that'd be so
your whole family, dude. You want all of them on.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like, he's more open, right? And he's not shy about his religion, and it's taught me a lot, right? That you know, you could be the only person in a specific area with your own faith, and he would always be open and just never shy away from what he believes, you know. Yeah. And that's something I've definitely over the years have appreciated.
Wasn't he pretty emotional about, like, when that happened? Like, I feel like I remember, like, at a certain point he was like really upset that like something like that had happened, and like put his faith in a bad, because it did put the Muslim faith in a bad light, that whole thing. Like, it was bad.
Yeah,
it was really bad. And I think the only reason I didn't feel badly about them is because I knew you and your family.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only reason. I was like, well, they're like, I know a Muslim family.
They're not all like that.
They're not all like
that. Trying to like destroy America.
Yeah, they're not like that. Yeah. So I think that, but if I hadn't had that, I probably would have had
a stigma behind it, for
exactly.
sure.
Or just like wondered, like, are they all trying to kill us? Do they hate us all? They want to like secretly destroy America?
Seriously.
You know, like death to America? And it's just like, we have people in my faith that, you know, that done psycho things, and you're just like, awesome.
Yeah.
Real cool.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, it's always tough, right? I mean, I think with whatever, I guess, ethnicity or whatever, you know, religion or whatever it may be, and it's been put to the test because of other people that you have no affiliation with at all, do something
in the name of that belief,
right? It definitely puts a bad stigma upon them, and I think that's unfortunate. It happens today, but I mean, growing up, it happened, right, where people would make terrorist comments, you know, and I don't think people realize, maybe, you know, I'm maybe a little darker, right, but I'm still kind of white.
Yeah. You
know, I'm half Iranian, but you know, people were pretty growing up. I mean, not really in high school or elementary school as much as it was like junior high and high school, but the comments and things like that, and sure, they're hurtful, right? Because it's like, well, yeah, but you don't know, you know, who these people really are. You know what a small amount of, you know, these, you know, extremists do, right? And you're still seeing it today.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unfortunate, but it happens with every religion and ethnicity in one form or fashion, or has.
Yeah.
You know.
That one just happened to be like on the biggest freaking world stage it could have done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Changed the whole world.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember you saying like he was a little bit emotional during that time. Did that have anything to do with why you went back to visit Iran?
No, I think we went back because at some point, or I think it might have been, that was probably a good time to go prior to more military being, deployed or whatnot. And honestly, when we went back, I mean, it's a lot similar to here in the sense that, like, it's not what people think, like sand,
Yeah,
right?
that's kind of what
and
I
a lot
imagine.
of people do.
Aladdin. You know
Right.
the movie Aladdin? That's what I
Right.
imagine it as.
And like it's not like Saudi Arabia per se, right?
Okay.
It's more there's mountains, right? There's more, we went hiking. We went, very clean place that we went to. Sure, there's poverty there, right? But there's also areas of the country that are really nice. They take a lot of good care of their, I would say, government buildings, and other, nice monumental buildings, right, per se.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not the desert, though there are parts of it, right, I'm sure, but we didn't, we went to, a bunch of historical sites, Persepolis, and a lot of the sites where war at one point happened, and there's still statues that were still up, but like really broken down. And so, I mean, yeah, it's beautiful. It's a lot of similarities to here in Utah for sure,
Dang, that's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Back to when you were growing up,
Mm-hmm.
you go 1 week to the mosque, 1 week to the LDS church. Do you remember liking one over the other when you were younger, or like one being more fun than the other, or not liking either of them?
I mean, not really. I think it was more open with going to the mosque with my brothers because I could see them. Whereas when you went to, the LDS church, it was you were kind of divided into your different, age groups. And there were still age groups there, but, you still see them. And then you break off to your Sunday school classes over there and whatnot. But, I mean, my brothers and I, we did a lot of funny things, right? I mean, bless my parents, still this day, But, I mean, my dad tried it was a later on date, but he tried to have us learn Arabic or Farsi. And the teacher that he brought to our home it didn't work. I mean,
He gave up.
yeah, and it was like a family friend. We knew her, she was awesome. But I mean, you're trying to learn a language at a older age instead of a younger age, and you've got, three, boys that are dinking around, maybe sniffing markers or, doodling over here or making funny jokes or poking each other, and I'm pretty sure she told my dad, like, yeah, this isn't going to work. Like,
Yeah.
And so, it's funny, but,
She's like,
Yeah.
we're leaving the monkery
Yeah.
now.
Monkery now.
We're done here.
Mosquery.
Yeah.
The mosquery.
So,
What was it like going to the mosque? And then maybe we can move on from this. But
Yeah.
I want to know what the mosque was like.
so the building itself, and it's more like right now they're raising money. So it used to be an old LDS meeting house, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it
And
downtown?
it's in Taylorsville, and they were able to get a grant. They applied a bunch of times, and they were able to get a grant for funds. So they have to raise like $250,000, and then it'll be a 1-to-1 match. And then after so much, it'll be a match. But anyway, I only know that because we were trying to help raise money, and so. But it's an old LDS meeting house. So similarity to what you see now, just a lot older, right? And in the area where you would typically meet for sacrament meeting, they just kind of took all the pews out, so it's all open.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it the carpet the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean they've all new carpet. There's a lot of Persian rugs everywhere.
Is it a sacred? Is the floor sacred?
No, I mean it's just your typical
Just carpet.
building.
Is that
It's
because
nothing.
does everybody kneel down? Or
So
right?
yeah, so when you get in, you'll just go through a door, right? You take off your shoes, and you just kind of all meet and talk, and so yeah, there's people that are kneeling, there's people that are praying, they'll pray and whatnot, and it's pretty open. They still have, I think maybe it was the gym that's converted more into their place where they eat. They make, food and everything, and they cook a bunch of food for a bunch of people for different events. So yeah, they get together quite often. My dad's there multiple times a week for, hours. And
Is he like part of the like leadership of that mosque, or
he's a
like,
chairman, I think. It would be a chairman, but he's a treasury chairman or something like that. But yeah, he helps run. And there's a lot of people that help run it, and he's one of them, and he takes the lead in it and whatnot. And it's a beautiful building, and yeah.
so like the services on Sunday, is there someone like leading it, or is it kind of just like you come and you do your own thing? And
So if you were to go in, and they're always willing to let people, visitors and whatnot go. If you're, just kind of observing, if I was to go or sit or, any of the family, and that we don't really pray or anything like that, like they do, you kind of just sit around. It would be, around in the main cultural hall or the cultural room, and then in the middle they have folks that are the main lead to their prayers. And so they'll lead it, and then they'll do their prayers and everything, and then you have the congregation that pray and everything, and they all get together. So they'll Thursday nights they'll get together, and right when the sun goes down they'll do their evening prayers, and they'll get together. So
they pray together. Sorry, they pray together.
Mm-hmm.
They say the same words as each
a
other.
lot of them are, yeah.
And are they in a different language?
Mm-hmm.
They're in Arabic.
They're in Arabic. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll read.
And they're like recited prayers.
They're recited prayers, and then at the end of some of the prayers, my dad I remember growing up doing his own, prayer for the, your own typical, your added
thing,
yeah. And so I never, I could recite some, and everything, and he always taught us.
Is there a speaker who gets up and gives like a sermon, or is it just a lead?
There are sermons. There's folks that do, but they're led prayers. I mean, each day, or each prayer during the day, because they pray 5 times a day.
But on Sunday, like, is there a sermon, or is it just like a quick
Like,
word, like a quick lesson, and then a prayer, or is it just a prayer?
No, so they will meet, and they will have Sunday school. Right, just like you would. So, I'm trying to think, and it's been a while, but I do believe
when
that
was the last time you went?
I think we went last year, but it was for a funeral that we went to.
Okay.
Kind of after the funeral, the next day or that night, they had a little celebration of life and whatnot. But I'm trying to remember. I think they had an imam who would be like a maybe like a what you would call like a preacher per se. Kind of well versed in the religion, and they would read out of the Quran and maybe give some like a sermon of some sort. So, but yeah, beautiful language, and I love it. Yeah.
Do they do the sermons in Arabic, or are they?
Arabic is what the Quran's written in. Farsi, it kind of, I think it switches back and forth, but. Yeah, my dad knows a lot of languages, so
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
and
cool.
yeah, so.
So one, sorry, were you gonna say something? When you guys were growing up, how much older are your brothers?
4 and 5 years older.
Okay.
So not
They're
crazy.
close.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
Are they Irish twins?
September, yeah, I think they're either 4, maybe. No, not quite.
They were 2 under 2 though.
Yeah, 2 under 2.
2 under 2.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
And then, so what did they end up? Where did their path go? Like, as they became teenagers and adults, like what's happened with them?
Oh man. Long story short, Allie, my oldest brother, he kind of groomed the way. I think I think with any religion, when you have a family member that departs and goes a different direction, it's the first one, right? It's a sensitive topic, right? And there's a lot of emotions that go into a lot of it, and so he ended up joining the church, and he's a convert, and he joined at 18, and then he ended up serving a mission. I ended up joining when I was 18 as well, and then I went on a mission as well. And then when I came home from my mission back in 2013, Abraham, my middle child brother, he ended up joining in the military, and he didn't go on a mission, but he ended up joining the military and then was baptized in the military. So yeah, we have
and everybody has had kids?
Yeah.
And are they all planning on like baptizing their kids? Like, what's the situation there?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if this is too personal.
No, they're all active members of the church, and we have one of my nieces that was baptized not too maybe a year or two ago, and we have another baptism next week. And so, wow. I mean, that's the plan, and my dad has been supportive, and he comes to the baptisms, or he did, and will probably come to this one as well, and he's supportive, and so it goes a long way, but it's, he's come a long way, and we appreciate it, and so there's a mutual respect, right, between the religions, and we've come to common grounds that, to a certain point, that there are a lot of similarities, there's a lot of good, but I think we've also had his friends that are members of the church, or that he associates with, that have helped along the way. But I mean, there's a lot of things, right, that kind of paved the path, and I think scouting was a big one, right? We all three of us boys did scouting, so he would come do Pinewood Derbies, and he would build the Pinewood Derbies with us, and so there was a lot of good, things that came about it that I think paved the way for maybe now that it's the present, that it's helped maybe cultivate that respect and whatnot. I'm sure that it's still hard, for sure, and I know that it's not easy, right? So, but he's been
something that's so important to him, and like such a huge part of who he is, and
it is.
Yeah, but you guys sound like you're supportive too. Like, you come to things.
Yeah, we try, and my mom's really supportive, and we'll support him, and so it's been.
I think that's just like so beautiful. It's just like, that's what families should do, Like, it's okay. Somebody wants to believe something different. There's still, there's beauty in that. There's also beauty in what they, like, there's just,
for sure,
like, appreciating it for what's right for that person and what feels right to them. And like, I love it. I just love it.
So
cool.
Was there a rule in your family, like, you can't choose one or the other until you're 18, or was that just your own personal thing that you decided?
I think it was kind of, we were still living under his roof, per se, and maybe like that respect as well. That,
like an unspoken rule.
Yeah. And it looking back, I'm trying to remember every single detail.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's hard to go back.
And whatnot. But I know it was a sensitive subject, for sure. I mean, I remember, it wasn't easy, right? And
do you remember the feeling in the house when Allie decided he was going to get baptized? Did it get awkward? Or do you not? It's okay if you don't remember, but I
remember bits and pieces. I know that there was a lot of emotions, for sure. But I was too young at that time.
How old were you? 16?
So he would have been 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 13. Yeah. So it's, between everything I did with sports or, whatever, that was all happening at this, in the mix of things.
When you're 13.
And
at least realize the magnitude.
Yeah.
I've, like, from seeing my kids, it's like, there's not really much outside of what's happening in your life when you're 13.
I agree.
If it doesn't affect you directly, you're just like, whatever.
But I remember there was a feeling, right? There was definitely that feeling of, something was there. And in fact, I was telling Sid, the growing up, going to your guys' home, right? I remember there was always this feeling going to the Harris's family. Didn't know what it was, yeah. And Paul and Kelly, just, I remember, man, it feels good being here. But I didn't know what it was, right? And I know that there was that spirit there in your guys' home growing up, and remember, just, I wouldn't say the cares would go away per se, but it was just a good feeling, right? And so it's like, well, what am I missing, right? And so I always know that, the Harris family, I love going to the Harris family.
I felt the same about your I felt the exact same.
And so, yeah.
It's different when you're the one that lives there, because it's just like normal to you.
Yeah.
But then when I remember going to other people's houses and being like, I like it here, You can tell a difference. Sometimes you go to people's houses and you're like, let's go somewhere else.
Yeah. Yes. Right? Yeah. Yes. So there's the spiritual connection that I didn't really know what it was, right? And so that kind of helped pave the way into inquiring more deeper,
So what was your reasoning for deciding one way or the other? Do you remember what it was?
I mean, it's a long story, but to narrow it down, growing up,
Dude, we got time. This might be the end.
No,
soon.
but growing up, I think what, we talk about 9/11, right? And I only remember this even more because I had to give a talk at church, and it was really about mental health. But 9/11 hit, and at that mix of 9/11, Elizabeth Smart was kidnapped, right? I mean, my brain, my small, child brain really was going through a bunch of emotions, right? And so I ended up suffering from a lot of anxiety growing up, right? It got bad, right? And my parents tried to help in any way they could, but it was just really bad. So anyway,
I remember Adam's not sleeping over.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah, I had the hardest time. And
that's because you were afraid you were going to get kidnapped?
No, I don't know what it was. It was more the psychological, my brain just thought, that I had to be, my comfort zone was my home.
Yeah.
Right? And my parents, and, I loved to be around them and everything like that. But, just my brain would go into just the weirdest things of shaking, I get nervous, I'd overthink things, get to the point where, even at school, bless my dad and both of my parents, but what if the power goes out, right? I thought of every single situation, true anxiety, and I had to have a game plan to a backup plan to another plan just to ease my mind, right?
I can see how you guys were such good friends.
And
explain anxiety in that way kind of too.
And
it think about all the worst outcomes before it happens.
Prepare.
Yeah,
and it was anyway, to kind of bring it back in, I just suffered from anxiety, and still to this day it's still there. It's not nearly as bad, but it's there. And anyway, I found comfort when I read the Book of Mormon. And I would be shaking reading the Book of Mormon, and then slowly it would kind of depress, and it would kind of subside, and I could just get sleep, and then just repeat that process over and over for years and years. In fact, really leading up to, when I got baptized, that kind of settled. But then the test was, I want to go on a mission, right? I've never been away from my family more than a day, let alone, here I am and, just graduated high school, and I'm want to go on a mission, and I haven't even spent time away from my family, right? So I'm like, what is going to go on? And so I remember, kneeling in prayer and asking Heavenly Father, I said, look, I'm doing this, and I just hope that you can help me. And it was a blessing in and of itself, because honestly, when I left, I never had anxiety one day. I never missed home to being homesick and things like that. And so anyway, that kind of led the path. And it wasn't an easy path, still isn't easy, but that's kind of where where I kind of drew, with my brother joining the church, and then with me started reading the Book of Mormon, and then taking missionary discussions and all sorts of things, that I knew that was my answer to help with my anxiety, and still is, that having that faith that it's all going to work out, but I don't know. It's going to work out sometimes,
You don't know how.
Yeah.
But you feel like
what?
Feel that peace.
Feel that peace, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
awesome.
yeah, it's yeah. So definitely, when people talk about mental health now, it's like, dude, we didn't talk about it back in the day, right? Like, it was kind of hush hush, and I went to counseling and all sorts of things but didn't help. Pills didn't help, or it helped, but it's just all sorts of things. And so now when people talk about it, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's a lot better that people are talking more about it than
just pretending.
That it's not there. It's not real.
Yeah.
So I
just
definitely
think positive.
Yeah, exactly. And
my therapist when I was a little kid said, just try breathing, try counting. That's what she said. I still try that. It just makes me focus on counting instead of whatever it is that's making me freak out. So I guess it kind of works, but that was it.
Yeah.
That was like what my parents paid the big bucks for.
Yeah.
So when what is that what your go-to is when you're stressed, is that you do reading the Book of Mormon still, or is there something else
it's switched back and forth, but I think the Book of Mormon's there, and there's times where I've read it, and there's times that I haven't as much, and you definitely can see that, and then Sid, my wife, has been a good support to kind of calm me down and talk me down from levels of anxiety and stuff, and it's okay, like, breathe. You're gonna be okay. But yeah, I mean, it's just working things out sometimes in my head, and taking the bad thoughts and putting good ones in, and thinking positive, or trying to think positive, which it's easier said than done, but
Gratitude. There's always something that you can focus on that's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was at this Tony Robbins festival the other week, we did this
Festival. Monkery.
When I was at the Monkery, we had this whole day. It was called like Transformation Day, just when you were talking about like getting rid of the bad. And anyway, we had to write down our beliefs about ourselves that have held us back throughout our life, and we had to write them all down. And then he had us like get up and say each one of those things in different voices, like making fun of ourselves.
Oh.
And then he's like, doesn't it sound stupid when you say it that way? And then he had us like do this funny like thing where we like put our finger up our nose and like say like, this was my old bullshit belief, was that this and this and this. And he's like, and that was such bullshit. And now I'm replacing it with this. And then we like yelled like all sorts of stuff to like get rid of it. But it was cool. It was like a cool like visual to like get rid of a bad. And then when you say it in this certain like way, like almost like making a like
mocking it.
Yeah, you're like mocking it. It's like, this does sound stupid.
You kind of make it a lot smaller than what it really is.
Yeah, because it just seems like your belief about yourself or a situation is just like so big that there's no way around it. And it's like, I've tried to get around it, but you can't. And then all of a sudden you like say it in these ways, and it just like shrinks that belief that you had. And it's like, well, now that that's down here, I can build on this. With something completely different. Yeah. That's way better.
And usually something that's true, you can like replace it with something that's actually true, because the belief you have about yourself is usually not true.
Yeah, and
it's almost based on what someone else might think.
Yeah, and it's almost always the opposite of what you thought.
Yeah.
So like for me, it was like, I think I'm not smart, which I have reasons to think that, but I have a lot of reasons to think of why I am. Yeah. And so it's like making that smaller and being like, no, these are the reasons why I am, and building on that from here. Anyway, that's just like one idea of like how to get over those like negative beliefs or negative things that are in your life. Like, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Just bully yourself. And then I'm just kidding.
Don't bully yourself.
No.
But just understanding
saying,
that
though, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Just understanding that like you had anxiety.
Yeah.
And you beat it. Like you found a way.
Beating it, right? It's still there,
it's
right?
Still there.
Definitely there. But yeah. I mean, it's always there, but yeah, I've come a long way. Yeah. Right? And it's cool to see that, but sometimes it's the stepping stones and you kind of look back, it's kind of climbing a big hill, right? Like you one step at a time, it's like, man, it's taking forever. But then looking back, it's like, man, it's come a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing you told me when we were in high school, maybe it was after I'm not sure when you said it, but I've thought about it a million times since. You said fear. Oh. Maybe you say it. Maybe you could say it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It was more when I was telling my dad I want to be baptized, and man, I got so much anxiety. I remember Allie texted me, and it was fear is an issue of faith. If we had greater faith in our abilities and especially in our God, we would not fear, right? And I think about it from time to time, and I mean it's true, but yeah, I mean. Having more faith too sometimes is the answer to helping out with whatever we're going through, and
well, I think
God.
I think it is because and this is another thing we went over during this monkery that I was a part of. He's like, there's two things that you believe, and neither of them are real. You can choose to fear, or you can choose to have faith.
Yeah, and
they're both in your head.
True, yeah.
But the fear leads you down a path of anxiety, depression, nervousness, pulling back, not taking the chance. And faith leads you down a path of trusting, believing, being positive, having like a direction in your life and going forward.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about that quote you told me, and I'm like, it really is like faith over fear. Yeah. When you want to move forward with like stuff like that. Yeah. So anyway, just a motivational quote from Adam. I was thinking about
that is a good quote, actually. Text that to Spencer so I can get a copy. I'm serious. I put quotes on my fridge, so that one's gonna go on my fridge.
No, I mean it's a good one, and
it is a really good. one.
General conference happened, and not to get churchy, but President Uchtdorf, or Elder Uchtdorf, gave a talk on a higher joy. But that was what you just said, though, too, is, you can choose to be happy, right? Or you can choose to be miserable, and it's those mindsets. So if you are seeking to be happy, you're going to seek for those types of things. But if you're going to seek to be, sad, down, and you're going to find it. And you're going to find what you want, to seek out, and so, yeah, then it reiterated what you just said and reiterated, when you get down on yourself, that you're just going to go down a rabbit hole, of the bad.
Yeah.
If you go down the good of, thinking positive, it kind of cultivates you to find that positive energy from other people, from how you're going to find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's so crazy how it's easy for us to do. It's like I feel like when you're trying to think positive, it's like you're going up some stairs, but when you think negatively or get like down, it's like you're going down a slide. It's like really easy.
It is.
And it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
And I wish it wasn't like that.
Yeah,
that's one of my questions when I die. Hey, why? Why couldn't the slide be the happy and the stairs be...
Yeah.
I guess
it's almost like a training your brain, right? And it's just a constant battle to train it to...
Yeah.
Take the stairs.
Yeah. I mean, my goodness. Yeah, it's tough.
Well, that's one thing I really love about the meditations is that it talks about recognizing, like, when she said, whenever the meditation's like, think about your breath, focus on your breath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then one thing that I really do is think about how I'm feeling when I'm thinking about my breath. Like, am I feeling positive or negative, and what got me here?
Yeah.
And how can I switch that?
Yeah.
So that way, if I'm on the staircase down or on the slide down, I'm like, okay,
try to stop yourself.
Yeah, we're gonna stop right now and figure out. Yeah,
figure
figure
out
like
what's
Yeah. What am I grateful for?
Yeah.
What do I believe in? What do I try? What do I believe about myself? What am I
Yeah.
going to do right now that will turn this around?
Yeah.
But you have to recognize, because a lot of people, and I notice it now that I do it, like while I'm at work, I'll hear people like talking and they'll get super negative and down. And it's like, we have to realize, like, we have to turn this around now because it doesn't help.
It changed the whole dynamics at work, and then everybody starts getting it. Then, I don't know if there's statistics, but getting that down and how those calls work and everything like that. I don't know.
It's an avalanche, really. It like starts with this little teeny thing.
Right.
It's like the rotten apple in the barrel.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I have 3 questions. I know
we're out of time, Adam.
I can go a little bit longer.
You sure?
Yeah.
I have 3 questions.
Yeah, you're good.
I need to know, where did you go on your mission?
Yeah.
I don't know where you went.
Louisiana, Baton Rouge.
Okay. English
speaking.
Okay.
A little bit Cajun, No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
it's
It was
not
all
really-
English.
It's not
Good
really
people there.
English.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what people spoke like back when like back in like the colonial days. Like when people came from like all over the world.
When it was the Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wish we knew how they spoke.
They're-
Like I think how they talk down there is probably
Yeah.
something.
And there's different. You go deep south into Baton Rouge or I guess into Louisiana. Kind of more by New Orleans and Houma and a lot of those. Like you'll get some that are just as southern accents, and it's kind of it's a mix of Cajun and French. So there's Cajun French with English, and so it is very hard to understand them, right? And then you got the southern draws, and then you got the Cajun French, and you got the folks that are from New Orleans and kind of the more. I don't even know how to even explain that, but yeah, just that whole culture down there. Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Good people there. Yeah.
And then I was gonna ask how you and Sid met.
My sweet wife. So we met, I think it was right after Ryan Reynolds' wedding. So she was going to school at the University of Utah with some of my friends, like my friend Jeff Christensen's sister, and now it's Tyler Skinner's wife, and a few others. And anyway, we met at Ben Hopkins' house. It was So Ben Hopkins over there on Common Lane, and so she was kind of there with that crew, and
I don't know at what point it cut off. So maybe could you start
how I met Sid again?
About like when did you meet Sid?
Oh.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure when it stopped.
Okay.
Wait, real quick before you get to that, and we don't have to put this in. With the Book of Mormon stuff, when you got rid of your anxieties, do you think that how I was saying the meditation stuff makes me stop and think about where I'm at with how I'm thinking? Do you think the Book of Mormon makes you stop and think about where you're at because you're thinking about the stories and how you can better yourself because of the Book of Mormon? Or do you think it grounds you? Or I just wonder if there's any similarities.
I don't know. I just remember at that time it was more, it calmed me down. There's power in it that just kind of brings me down a little bit to reality. Yeah. Right? But then just what comes from it, right? I think the stories definitely are there, but what it's all about and things like that and the power that comes with it, I think it's gone. I think that's how it helps. Yeah. Right? The power of the other path. Yeah.
It's
so
the
you
spirit
think
of it.
think you believe it's actually it's not necessarily the stories or bringing you down to earth. It's more there's a spiritual
it's
power
a spiritual power, right? Okay. I think with spiritual and physical and mental and there's all sorts of things, and I think there's for physical or whatnot, working out, it's going to help you out a ton. I think spiritual, you got to have that balance and have your spirit nourished, right? And I think that's what it does. Cool. At least for me.
Cool.
you know.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I was just thinking about
Yeah.
it. I'm going to think about this all the time if I don't ask this. Okay. Sorry.
It's all right.
All right. So how did you and Sid meet?
Sid
I wanna
meet.
hear the story.
So, I'm pretty sure it was after Ryan Reynolds got married. We all went to Ben Hopkins' house.
So we have a group of friends that we went
Yeah,
to high
so-
school with.
Yeah.
And they were all friends.
Yeah, so we all... Oh, was it this chair? Sorry.
I thought he was snoring.
No.
Yeah, so we met at Ben Hopkins, but some of the guys that we went to Ben Hopkins with, their sister, so Jeff Christensen's sister went to school with Sid at the University of Utah, and then Tyler Skinner's now wife, Anna, you know, and so we all kind of met at Ben Hopkins' house, and he's got a beautiful home. His parents, you know, I don't know if they still live there or not, but at that time, and so anyway, we played sports, and she's an avid sports person. She loves basketball, and so we ended up playing soccer, I think, and anyway, from there, kind of, you know, shortly thereafter, I couldn't get her. I didn't have her number, so at that point, I think it was Facebook. I reached out to her, and you know, and so anyway, that's how we met. So, I came home from my mission 2013 May June I think, and that took place sometime in November of 2013, and then I found out that she had her mission call, and she was leaving on a mission in February. So we kind of dated from like November to February, and then we wrote each other throughout when she was on her mission. She went to Dominican Republic, and then she came home August of 2015, and then April 6th of 2016 we got married. So yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And then she grew up where?
She grew up in Sugar House.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Sugar House, went to Highland. We went to Olympus. A little rivalry, you know. Still
The
sometimes
Rams.
stick at her a little bit, you know.
And she played sports?
She
What
did.
sports
Yeah,
she
she played soccer. She played basketball. Yeah, so she's a
cool.
sports fanatic like me. I like sports.
She didn't believe Adam played basketball like on a Super League team. And
We had to like.
Why?
I had to like. She
just didn't believe
I what was it though? I think she knew I played sports, but I don't. I always said, yeah, I was on a competitive basketball team, the Titans.
The Titans.
Sid, it was the Titans, and I said Spencer was on the team, and Joey, and you know
Ryan.
Nick and Ryan, all these guys.
Max
Shaw,
Jordan Allison,
yeah.
Nick Cudlitz.
I said we had Chris Williams. We had Winston Morris. We all had a crew, right?
Yep.
And we were with each other from 3rd grade until 6th, and then you know I wasn't good enough like you guys. You know I was always on the ground and I was slow. That's what that was my problem.
On the ground like you fell over.
I was always. It would be, you know, if I had to go run after the ball, I'd go get it. I would fall a lot, you know.
You gave up too early.
You know, and so I think when the Titans, you know, disintegrated. Yeah, you guys went on to play at Olympus, and I tried out for Olympus, you know, and I made it to second to last cut, but you know I just wasn't quite good enough. And anyway, I was the team manager, yeah, team manager, cool. And so I had to somehow still be involved somehow, and so I was that. Yeah, I was the team manager for a couple of years, I think.
Was Jeff there?
Jeff.
Like, I don't even know his last name. It was some guy that was like the manager for all of time and eternity.
Oh, that was, but this was just junior high. Junior high.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I was never good enough, and so anyway, so I did that, you know. But yeah, I played ward ball from, you know, I like sports still, you know, and so anyway.
Did you play any other sports? Did you try football or? Like...
I did soccer. So I grew up playing soccer. Competitive soccer. We traveled all over. I was a goalie and
the Firebirds.
And then, Impact.
Oh.
Impact Black, yeah. So it was like
That's
Max
still
Shaw.
around.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we did that, and so I played soccer up until, junior high, maybe 7th or 8th grade, and then, again, I wasn't fast enough. I was a good goalie. I thought I was. Maybe I wasn't. I don't know, but
you're quick.
So
you're
I'm not really quick. I'm slow. I think now it's just like I'm
you're
little
shifty though. I feel like you. Well, you change directions.
I could read sometimes where the ball was going, but
you'll go one way and then you can switch. I don't know if you're quick from like one.
I don't think
like if you just sprint 5 yards. I don't think you're quick, but just your side to side, you're tricky.
I have stamina, so I could still run. Stamina. I wasn't the fastest. I mean, you did sprints, man. I was like one of the last ones.
I feel like you're tricky.
But stamina, I could keep jogging, right? So when everybody else was tired, that's where my my superpowers came into play.
I'm still moving and you're all dead.
Yeah.
You had good cuts. Change directions.
But I mean, I had aspirations to at least try to make the team, right? Allie played, junior and high school basketball, and so still love sports, but yeah. Maybe I gave up too early. I don't know.
You did.
But it was fun. We had good times.
And now your son's into golf.
I do. I have a son, 3-year-old Miles, almost 3-year-old. Man, he loves Tony Finau. Obsessed with Tony Finau. Dad, Tony, look at Tony, right?
Sorry, is that a golfer?
Yeah, it's a golfer. He's a professional golfer.
He's LDS.
Not in the world of
so
LDS.
he's from, like, he came from a poverty background, and so Rose Park, I think, was his home course and everything.
Most golfers grow up like rich, and so they play constantly.
Yeah.
He's poor,
and
he just
That's cool.
he just like hits
Underdog,
a golf ball in his
right?
garage,
That's
against
all
a
he
net.
did.
Like that's how he became good.
But Miles, we every day, Dad, can we go golf? Dad, let's golf, right? And so Sid, we bought him a little putter inside. So like when I'm at work, if they don't go out, he'll putt. We got like a ball of 40 balls, and he'll just putt all day. And when I get home, I told him, look, dude, we'll go out. So we go out. I'm not lying. I have a bucket of 50 little soft, little wiffle balls, and we'll hit about 100, 150 a day. And he just hits. And he's starting to get it where he cranks it back, and he's got he raises his foot up, right? Just like the professional golfer and everything. I mean, here soon, I mean, I'm going to be like just, But anyway,
you better
obsessed.
get ready to fork out that money.
I know. But he's gifted, though, with sports. Like, he loves, like, basketball, football, like, he catches it. And so, I mean, I hope it sticks. Sid and I hope, but you never know. But right now, with the Masters going on, I mean, it's been in the background. He'll get his putter out, and he'll watch, and like, Dad, that's a good hit. Yeah. Or it went in, and he'll see Tiger Woods and everything. So, yeah, he's an avid golfer right now. Hopefully it sticks. I love golfing. Sid loves golfing and
that's a safe
whatnot.
sport.
It's a safe sport. Mm-hmm. It's a tough, super tough to go pro,
but it's
there's someone
so
that can.
good
He's
for
the one,
like if you want to like go to college to play golf, like you could because there's not that much. Maybe by the time he's going that direction, it will be more competitive. Like remember lacrosse. Yeah. Lacrosse was like,
no one did lacrosse.
Go to do lacrosse, you'll get a scholarship. Now it's like
it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe golf will turn into that.
Yeah.
A lot of boys are get cut from sports teams now. They go to golf and they get a scholarship.
Yeah.
Girls too.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Miles even requested to be a golfer for Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
Sid built. She did. She got the stroller, and then she designed a golf cart out of cardboard and like drew it all out, like Team Mardanlou, right? And it was awesome. But yeah, he was a golfer. Had the Nike, polo shirt, the hat, right? And he has his little golf clubs he hauls around, and then I'll throw it on the ground and he'll just hit it. Go to the next one. Then he just keep hitting. That's all he does. He loves it. Yeah. So yeah, he was that, and then for his birthday he wants to do golf. Right, and so we're gonna do golf and have like a pro shop. Sid's got it all down, but yeah, he's a golfer.
That's awesome.
So I hope, Owen, our youngest, I hope he picks that up too, and it'd be fun having a family that goes golfing,
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sid sounds amazing. I've only met her a couple of times, but she sounds like one of those people that you're like, why are you so amazing? Why do you have to be like that? That's really cool.
She is a sweet individual, for sure, She's my rock, and willing to do whatever.
Yeah. You guys just started. Did you just start this company, this new company together?
Yeah. Yeah, we did. So her background is interior designing.
Okay.
And mine's construction. So her and I went to Weber State, and she went to the interior design program, and then I went to the construction management program, and kind of along the way we still work for general contractor, but we ended up starting a home inspection business, New Heights Inspection, and we inspect homes and test for radon and for mold, and I mean we have a lot of different.
We have radon down here, so hopefully we don't all have cancer now.
Yeah.
Great. You know you do?
Yeah. Sorry, Brooke.
What the freak?
We're all gonna die.
Get Adam out here.
I've
We
tried.
should
My
retest.
goodness.
Yeah, we should hire you.
It's just the testing, right? I don't do
Yeah.
the actual
But you tell them like
the
who to
abate.
call
So
or whatever?
yeah, so I have
We'll get our radon down here, so.
I have a device that does a 40-hour test, and it'll read the levels of radon, which is a gas that comes out of a rock, uranium, and everything. And anyway, it's second leading cause of cancer, and
I probably have
Yeah.
it. We probably have it.
so I mean Utah's
At your
pretty
house?
Probably.
common,
I don't know.
It's common.
But I mean it's a hit and miss because it's depending upon where your house is sitting on, right? But it comes through the foundation or cracks of the home and whatnot. So yeah, we do a bunch of stuff like that. It's fun, Trying to start a new business to have more balance, right? I think when you work from general contractor, I love it. It's fun. But yeah, you work early hours, late nights, and at that time I'm starting to get back into it, but I specialize in healthcare construction. So we are in active hospitals, and we are working around patients and staff, and so you can get calls late at night or early in the morning of issues, and you got to be there. You got to have your phone on. So if we're going to go through all of that, we want to start a business together, and that's kind of why we started New Heights Inspection, kind of setting a new level of the home inspection business.
That's awesome.
So we like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's always tough.
It is
I love
tough.
it.
Starting a business is always tough. But
Yeah.
just keep going.
Yeah.
It's like what you were saying, like where you look back, you feel like, am I making any progress?
Yeah.
But then when you look back, you're like, wow, we've actually come a long way. It's like tiny little steps.
Yeah.
But you guys are going to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to do it.
Yeah, we like
Yes.
it. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You guys are power couple. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh.
For real. You are.
Ow.
We're not worthy. We're not
Yeah.
worthy. That was amazing.
Is there anything else you wanna say, or maybe like, I don't know, anything else you feel like you want to say to maybe like your family or friends, or before the end of this thing?
I don't know.
Spencer's fishing for a compliment.
I know. What are you fishing?
Is there
Shout out
anything
to
you want to
Spencer
say
Harris,
to me about?
the Harris family. What do you want to know? Spit it out, man. I don't know.
Maybe just like, well, part of the reason we're doing this is as like a journal, like of our like family, and so like maybe when we look back on this, like years and years from now, is there anything like you would want to say to like your like your like Sid and your kids and any friends that you have?
Yeah. Something to have on record.
Have on record.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this,
Yeah.
These are the things.
If you're listening to this in a bunker in 3052 and the world is
world ending, this is what you should know.
yeah.
Oh man.
Or maybe just like like where you're at now and how you feel about life, or I don't know if there's maybe there's nothing, and that's fine too. But
no, I mean I think it's great. I mean you don't think about it until you're open and you talk about it, right? And I don't know. I think for me, I it brings back memories, right? Especially, we're talking about things that I was telling Sid the other day. I said, I remember my childhood, but then at the same time, if I don't talk about it, it kind of passes, right? I don't know if you think about like high school or junior high or elementary, like there's bits and pieces I remember, but like, and then if you start adding on to like, hey, yeah, do you remember this? You remember this? And then I'm like, yeah, I do. But if I'm like just going through the kind of the swing of things, I forget a lot of things. But so it brings back a lot of memories. I mean, like we did a lot of stuff together, right? Yeah. I mean, I was telling Sid, she's like, what are you going to talk about on the podcast? I'm like, I don't know. Like funny stories, right? And you're like, what funny stories? And I'm like, man, there's a lot of funny stories. We had a lot of good friends that, we did a lot of fun stuff together. But one of the things I remember, I don't know if you probably remember if I start going off, but I remember you had your black Mazda.
Yeah.
And you were a year older than everybody else, you and Ryan, right? And so you guys were like the cool guys that had your vehicles. And, me, with my birthday in May, I was the youngest one, like the last person to drive, right? But we would do funny, stupid things. And one of the things was we liked to go and throw, snowballs or little things like that at cars. And I remember...
I was going to bring this up if you didn't.
Yeah, I remember, we were I don't know how old we were at that. I mean, we were obviously driving. And I don't know if I was taking the missionary discussions at that time. I don't know. I had a bad feeling, though. I was like, dude, Spencer.
I remember this night.
Dude, I got a bad feeling. We probably shouldn't do it, right? Yeah. And so we ended up going to, like, the 7-Eleven, grabbing some, like, candy and some hot chocolate.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
First of all, Adam was always down for crazy, like, mischief.
Well, yeah, he's spray painting his house at 3.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, you knew you weren't going to get too crazy with Adam. Like, it was going to be crazy, but there's a line, and you're not going to cross that line when you're with Adam. Which was why I like keeping Adam close, because you knew...
You'd be kept in check, but still have fun.
He'll lead you astray just enough.
But I'll always bring you back.
He'll bring you back and make sure that you don't go too far.
Yeah.
So this night, we did this every weekend. Like water balloon cars, snowball cars.
And then you would run for the 2-3 hours until someone, got caught.
So as soon as...
Which we never did get caught. We really didn't. At least I didn't, but...
Yeah. Wait, were Ryan you just hide on the side of the road or was driving around?
There was this lane...
Yeah, one of the lanes, and
it's dark. It was dark, and so you could see the headlights coming, and we'd hide in the trees, like behind the fences, and we'd be like, "Oh."
Yeah, you'd have like,
and you just hear
water balloons or like snowballs. And it was a nice car, like Mercedes, like trucks. I mean, these were the top of the line.
Yeah, I remember one time I got hit with a snowball.
No, I didn't. Luckily, but we threw snowballs and water balloons from my car. So.
Yeah.
So when Adam said, I don't feel good about this, I thought, absolutely, I'm not going. We're gonna go.
Oh my gosh, we went to the gas station or something. I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, we grew up with a mom who, if she said I have bad vibes, we just were like, okay,
so
it's canceled.
And I think I picked my friends that way. I picked friends that had the like.
Good or bad vibes.
Yeah, and I trusted their feelings about it.
Yeah.
So I knew, like, okay, listen to the... And if they say...
So Adam said, I don't feel good about it, so you guys...
I remember that, and then, sure enough, we find out that the guys that we were with, obviously Spencer and I think it was just you and I in the car, just jamming out to music, and we... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we were driving... Well, we get our snacks.
We were going back to where they were at.
Yeah, we were driving back.
And we find out that they hit one of the vehicles or something, and there was a wrong people that they hit because it was guys that were in high school, and they started beating up a bunch of the guys that we were with, right? And so I remember Steven and a few others, like
Steven didn't know where he was,
bloodied up, like ripped shirt. You had a bunch of others that were hiding that didn't want to defend. And I remember I was like,
so bad.
And Steven was a big guy, like muscular wise. Like he was out of like the group, he would be like, him, Ryan, they were taller guys. And dude, they got owned.
They got smashed.
Like I remember blood, and so like we went back to the home.
We pick him up. We put him in my car, drive him back, and he just literally in a daze for the whole night.
Yeah,
freaked out. Everybody's freaked out.
And that was a testament, like follow the promptings that you get, because I mean that was just one of the many things,
Yeah.
But anyway, it brings I mean. We did that every night, man. I remember. And it was terrible, because we wanted to do something. So we ended up doing that, throwing balloons or snowballs, and then...
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
Water balloons. We weren't throwing rocks.
Yeah.
We weren't killing people.
Yeah.
No.
Water balloons can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
nobody ever died.
Yeah, no one ever, that we know of.
That we know.
No.
They went home and had a heart attack. Something
No,
in my Mercedes.
But it was, dude, loud bangs and everything. But yeah, you throw the snowballs and balloons, and then you're running. You're off. And
Yeah.
I mean, you had to cross one of the main roads, and once you got past there, you were golden, or at least.
Was this off of Holiday Boulevard?
It was on Haight. I think it was Haight. Well,
it was Walker Lane. We were in.
Did Ryan live on Haven Lane? And then the one further down was Walker.
Yeah.
I think it was Walker Lane.
It was Walker Lane. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then if you did on Walker Lane, sorry to the people that are watching.
Apologize. Walker Lane.
They're not watching. You don't have to worry.
No, but Walker Lane, and then
all our millions of fans on Walker Lane.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Adam.
We're sorry.
They're not watching.
One day they might.
Walker Lane. No. We have we have a big following in Walker Lane. So all our people on Walker Lane. Holiday. We know we have a big Holiday following.
Holiday's banned us because I just ripped on Holiday so much.
Oh my
Brooke
goodness.
didn't mean it, Holiday. And Walker Lane, we love you.
But yeah, it was over there, and
Yeah.
I love Holiday.
yeah, and we caused mischief,
Dude, it was so fun. It was so fun. All right, brother.
Yeah.
Dude, anything else?
No, I mean.
We gotta have your whole family on.
Yes.
We need to have
Find
Sid.
the mop.
We need to
Yeah,
have.
this is the interesting one. I'm not,
Yeah, right.
Your face.
She
This has been super interesting.
Yeah.
And we need to have your mom and dad on. That would be so fun. Would they come on, you think? Would you guys?
No clue.
All right, Adam. Thanks for coming,
Yeah,
dude.
appreciate it.
You're one of the good guys for sure, in my opinion.
Oh man,
It's been fun being friends all this time, and
yeah,
we're gonna keep riding it out, dude, forever.
get our kids married,
yeah,
and
yeah.
keep the traditions
And if
going.
not, still love both of them.
Of course,
Still love the kids.
Yeah.
Well, there's always Remy. If it doesn't work out with Katie, there's always
We need a dating
Harris
show.
kid somewhere.
We're gonna have a dating show. Miles finds
Oh
love.
my goodness.
Miles finds love on the golf course.
I'm gonna start Remy golfing, so she's ready.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is
Katie, I know what I'm
funny.
getting you for your birthday. It's on, Remy.
It's so
Oh
on.
my goodness, that is funny.
Yeah.
Oh my
All right,
goodness.
so say goodbye to the folks.
All right. Goodbye, folks.
All right, people. Thanks for tuning in to the show, and God bless. Have a great night.
Play ball.
Play ball.
I don't know, dude. I hate the ending. We need to figure out a good ending, a good start.
No, the awkward endings and startings that's our.
I go to work every Monday and get to do something I love.